Ready to go?
At Metro Transit, we are. With more routes to more places, easy ways to pay, and more convenient options, we're ready to go further. Go easier. Go faster. Go, go, go.
And go.
We're ready to go. Are you?
It's Not Your Fault is a podcast for parents, caregivers, and young people navigating the world and its challenges. Here's your host, Brandon Jones.
Greetings, and welcome to another installment of It Is Not Your Fault, a teen mental health podcast. I am your host, Brandon Jones, and on today's episode, we are talking about parental stress yet again. We're going to do it one more time because it is all the rage right now in the mental health world, in the education world, in the social service world, is this thing called parental stress. Parents are letting the professionals know we are stressed out and we need help with our kids. Is this a trend? Is this a phenomenon? Is this the beginning of the end? We're going to answer some of those questions today on the podcast, and I'm definitely going to leave you with a message of hope because it is not all over. I think we are at a tipping point of well-being, and we're going to be forced to be innovative. We're going to be forced to be creative. We're going to be forced to be real, and we're going to be forced to partner better amongst ourselves, given the current nature of what's happening with our children and now what is happening with the parents. And I've talked about this on a few episodes, and I don't think I went deep enough. I'm going to go a little deeper today. But this is a big thing happening right now. Parents are overwhelmed. And as we enter the summer months and children are outside of school and they are having a little bit more looser structure, some kids may be going to camp, some kids may be going to parents' houses or other family members' houses. Some kids may just be doing their own thing. Some kids may be starting jobs this summer. There's a lot of things that are happening, and parents are overwhelmed. So there's something taking place. And I don't want to ignore it, and I don't want to just make it a, one episode thing. We have to keep talking about this. And I also do not want to make parents or caregivers out to be victims. And I don't want to blame them. I want to have a message of upliftment, a message of empowerment, and a message of encouragement because it is not all doom and gloom and it is definitely not all over. But if you don't do something about it now, you will struggle. And we don't want you to struggle. We want you to thrive. We want you to be amazing parents. We want your young people to see you in your best elements and in the face of adversity, being able to withstand and to keep moving forward. And I know that's hard when you're in the midst of it, when you're in the thick of it, but it is a very empowering thing when you can keep moving forward and be resilient. And that's really one of the biggest things that young people need is that they need their parents to be resilient. Their parents need to show that resilience, and their parents need to articulate and talk to them about it as well. Over my career, I have probably counseled anywhere between, I mean, this is an estimate. I would say maybe 1,200 young people, maybe 1,200 young people as far as a therapist and counselor. I would estimate that I probably, as a therapist overall, it has to be north of 2,000. I would say 2,400 has to be north of that. Over my career, I've seen a lot of people. I've done a lot of hours of therapy. And one thing that I can say for sure is that childhood trauma piece and the views and the perceptions and the interactions that not just young people, that people have with their parents definitely impact how they show up later on in life. Even think about yourself. You may have similar concerns, issues, experiences. I know I do. I would not be the person that I am today if it wasn't for the interactions that my parents had, both my biological father, my biological mother, and my stepfather. All the experiences that I've gone through in my life have led me to this moment, to who I am as a professional, who I am as a person, who I am as a father, who I am as a co-parent, former husband, And as a man, if I'm going to be completely honest, so this is important. Now, I know this is a teen mental health podcast, but I'm really talking directly to the parents and I'm saying, hey, I hear you, I see you, I'm getting the messages, I'm getting the emails, I'm getting the perspective from the viewers who watch this and listen to this podcast. And I'm saying, I hear you, and that's why I'm here making it today for you. So let's get into it a little bit. So, modern parenting is undergoing a significant transformation shaped by early onset puberty, rising mental health challenges amongst young, and the persuasive influence of digital technology, dun, 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 the internet, social media. These factors are compelling parents to adopt new strategies to support their children's development effectively. We are seeing a surge in what is being termed parental stress. Parents are tapping out, they're overwhelmed, they need help. Contemporary parents face unprecedented levels of stress. A recent advisory from the United States Surgeon General highlights that 48% of parents report feeling overwhelmed most days, nearly double the rate of adults without children. This surge is in stress is attributed to the unrealistic expectations, societal pressures, and a consistent demand of modern parents. Experts, you may consider me one of those, suggest that the erosion of emotions connected between parents and children exacerbates their stress. The lack of shared experiences and understanding can lead to feelings of isolation and inadequacy amongst parents. Parents don't feel connected to their children. Parents don't feel connected to other parents. Parents are terrified of the internet. They have no idea about AI. And if they don't know about that, they don't have no idea about virtual reality. It's all here. We're all experiencing it. And parents have to get tapped in. They're not tapped in. That's why I'm here. That's why this podcast is here to tap you in. You gotta know what's happening with these kids. They're talking about skippity boo bop and God and bruh and all these terms, and you're just sitting there like, what's going on? My kids are in a whole on a whole nother planet. It's not all doom and gloom, folks. We will figure this out. But you gotta act. Don't sit and wait. Because your kids are developing, they're not sitting and waiting, and definitely I don't want to say the forces out there after your children. I don't want to scare you, but the world around is not waiting. Everything's moving, so you have to move as well, and you have to move with grace and patience, and having a level of confidence in your abilities at the same time. And I will tie this back to teens. Don't you worry. I'll tie it up. But listen, I mentioned a couple of things. Let me talk about those things here right now. So, one of those things is navigating early puberty and mental health. This is a big thing. And again, I said I'm going a little deeper this time. We don't talk about this enough. I myself have dealt with this with my oldest child, and I'm in the midst of it now with my second child. Children are entering puberty at young ages than previous generations, with some girls beginning as early as 8 years old. My daughter, 8 years old, she had her first menstrual cycle. Or no, sorry, she was 10 when she had her first menstrual cycle. Now I have a 9 year old right now, and she is showing signs that she might be on the same track. So this is something that's happening, right? Which means what? Their hormones are going to be impacted. And if their hormones are going to be impacted, guess what else comes with that? Their moods and their emotions. This shift is linked to the factors such as increased obesity rates, exposure to endocrine disruptive chemicals, and heightened levels of stress. Now, I could probably say two of those three things may be true for my children. I'm not 100%. My children don't have any issues around obesity, but the exposure to endocrine disruptive chemicals, that may be possible. And then also high levels of stress. I would say that we've had some pretty significant life events take place in my family dynamic over the last 3 years or so, so that could be possible as well. Early puberty can lead to a range of mental health issues, including depression, anxiety, and body image concerns. Girls, in particular, I'm a girl dad, are more susceptible. I can't even speak. They were more susceptible to these challenges, which can result in social difficulties and increased risk of bullying. To support children through their changes, experts recommend that open communication, education about bodily changes, and fostering a positive body image are all key things to do with your children. Resources like the Puberty Podcast, by Kara Nederson and Vanessa Kroll Bennett offer valuable guidance for parents navigating these conversations. Now, you don't hear me really shout out a lot of other podcasts on this show unless they're on our network. That is ShelettaMakesMeLaugh.com. Again, ShelettaMakesMeLaugh.com is our podcast network. But this is a podcast that I do think if you are in the midst of struggling with your children and their puberty, that you may get some valuable insight. And again, that's the Puberty Podcast. Check that one out for sure. They are not on our network, but they do offer some quality information. All right. I wanted to talk about two more things before I close out today's episode. The next thing I want to talk about is embracing reflective parenting. In response to these challenges, whether we're talking about the digital dynamic, the social media, the thing that's pulling your kids' attention and helping shape their identity, or we're talking about this early onset of puberty, it's important that parents start to practice and embrace reflective parenting. Unfortunately, so many parents are parenting alone. Even when they're in relationship dynamics, there's a lot of people who their parenting styles are different, their communication styles are different, and they feel like they're just going at it isolated. I would highly encourage you to start engaging in conversations about parenting and children and youth dynamics with other adults. Please do this as much as you can. Doesn't mean that your children are going to have the same issues or even you expect the same outcomes as other parents, but at least you're not going at it alone. So, in response to these challenges, many parents are adopting reflective parenting practices. This approach involves understanding and responding to a child's emotional needs, fostering empathy, and promoting open dialogue. I always talk about my broken record moment on the podcast because I always say you got to find space and create space and opportunity to talk to your kids. And when you talk to your kids, talk to them at an age appropriate level. So important. Reflective parenting has been shown to strengthen parent-child relationships and support cognitive development. By focusing on emotional connection and understanding, parents can better support their children's mental health and navigate complexities of modern adolescence. Modern adolescence is something we're going to talk about more this summer. These are not the kids from the Breakfast Club. These are not the kids from the Cosby Show or a different world. These kids are a different world. These kids are a different society. It's a different monster that we're dealing with. And I don't want to say monster as in like our kids are scary. No, it's just a different dynamic that we're dealing with our children. What your parents did doesn't work anymore. What my parents did doesn't work anymore. What you're going to do can work, but you have to work at it, including working on yourself. And that's what's going to be so important. So if you didn't hear anything in this podcast, remember at least that you got to work on yourself. So let me conclude. Modern parenting requires adaptability, empathy, proactive approaches to the evolving challenges faced by today's youth. By staying informed and embracing open communication, broken record moment, parents can foster resiliency and well being in their children, ensuring that they thrive in an increasingly complex world. Supporting children through modern challenges is something that you can do. Don't lose sight of yourself. You can be the modern parent. That doesn't mean being your kid's friend. We hear that a lot. But what it means is being compassionate to your children and to yourself, having the level of confidence that you are the parent, the right parent for your child, and that the stress and the mental health challenges, or even sometimes chemical dependency challenges that you may be faced with, or your family, or even your child, are things that can be treated given that you don't give up on yourself and you don't give up on your kid. Stay the course. Stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with it. All right. I'm going to wrap up this episode. And again, we'll cover these in many different other ways as we continue this podcast. I hope that you found something valuable in today's episode. If you did, I want to encourage you to connect with us in one of these three ways, if not all three. The first is go to our Facebook page. Just go to Facebook, go to the search bar, type in It's Not Your Fault Podcast. You'll find us right there on Facebook. Go ahead, give us a like, follow. You'll find content like what I'm sharing here today with you, articles, other resources, and previous episodes right there on the Facebook page. So that's one area. Second area is if you want to directly ask me a question or learn a little bit more about the work that I do, you can check me out at my personal website. That's www.jegna.org. That's JEGNA.org, where you can find me there, ask me questions, send me a message. But if you like this podcast, there's a good chance you might like the other ones on the network as well. That network is ShelettaMakesMeLaugh.com. Again, ShelettaMakesMeLaugh.com, where you'll find me and a plethora of amazing podcasters right there on that network. And if that isn't enough for you, I don't know what to tell you, but I will say this to close out the podcast. Be safe, be constructive, be well, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Peace.
To check out previous episodes of It's Not Your Fault or to learn more about Brandon Jones, log on to ShelettaMakesMeLaugh.com.
You know Sheletta makes you laugh, but did you know Sheletta Brundidge can also make you think and boost your business? Media personality, activist, and comedian Sheletta Brundidge founded Sheletta Makes Me Laugh to celebrate and share the best of Black culture. It's a podcasting platform. You can download 10 weekly podcasts hosted by African-American subject experts at ShelettaMakesMeLaugh.com or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. ShelettaMakesMeLaugh.com is also a production house, creating broadcast-quality commercial content. And Sheletta and her team of storytellers create powerful promotional campaigns to get businesses the brand awareness they're looking for. Some of Minnesota's top businesses trust Sheletta, and you can too. Get out the word about your events and products and get in front of communities of color with ShelettaMakesMeLaugh.com. She's got the power to help your business.
When I was introduced to Bremer, I really appreciated it. It was more of a relationship. The support that we have in project-based lending, it's emboldening us to go after larger projects. That is a game changer for a small business. The resources and the support from Bremer Bank is exciting that I could stay with them forever. Sometimes when you're working with bankers, they relish the fact of saying no. With Bremer, it's like they're finding a way to say yes.
To keep my home running smooth, I count on Xfinity. To keep my home running smooth, I count on Xfinity Internet. With 99.9% reliability, we're all online at once. No slowdowns. The Xfinity app lets me manage our Wi-Fi and keep things secure. Xfinity makes it easy.